Hello everyone, it's Andrea and welcome to the May Plan with me. All supplies I use will be listed in the description box below. I've been trying to think outside of the box when it comes to giving each month a theme, so why should this month be any different? I decided to go way back, and I mean way back, and make this one retro. Who hasn't heard of Pac-Man? I mean, most of us have played this game at one point in our lives. And even though it is such a simple game, it sure gets your heart racing when you get chased by those ghosts. Or maybe that was just me. So my title page is the Pac-Man game, and using the Pac-Man inspired font I wrote May inside the Ghosts box. I decided to draw everything that was colored first. Then I went over each one and outlined it. I'm going to be sticking to two main fonts throughout May. The first one is more of a classic video game font. The second is the iconic Pac-Man font. This actually didn't take as long as I thought it would. The hardest part was going around the dark blue just because you could barely see the outlines. I tried to do all the horizontal lines first, then the vertical ones. I gave it a good look over at the end to make sure I didn't miss anything. I started my calendar page with the colored parts first again. I decided to switch back to the vertical layout, but on this one I only have day and evening sections. I don't actually write too much on the calendar layout, so I figured I could downsize it a little. I wrote the numbers and the days of the week right down the center of the page. Then I went in and outlined all the shapes and letters. Lastly, I highlighted Saturdays and Sundays. I colored in Tracker on the next page using the classic video game font. I couldn't fit the pixels for every letter at a 1:1 ratio, so I divided each square in my journal into an imaginary 4 squares. That way I could make the letter smaller and fit more on a page. I even switched up my tracker. I've seen the style on Pinterest and it really appealed to me. I decided to keep only the most important tasks and drew a mini calendar for each one. I numbered all the days of every calendar, so all I will have to do is color in the day that I do the task. Then I colored in the Pac-Man, ghosts, and the Pac-Dots, or as I like to call them, the Pac-Man food. All that was left was to outline it. I'm still loving the separate mood tracker and decided to use the ghosts as the individual mood days. I colored in the font and the large Pac-Man that looks like he'll be eating the ghosts. I also drew colored lines at the bottom for my moods. Now came the tedious part of outlining everything. All the ghosts were pretty much identical. I actually didn't even know that the ghosts had names. Blinky, Pinky, Inky, and Clyde. Why Clyde? Doesn't even rhyme with the rest. I didn't know that there was such an extensive history to Pac-Man. I do have to say that this one took way less time than the gears did for April. This is what April looked like all filled out. It's kind of pretty with all the different shades of brown and gray. Finally, I wrote the moods on each corresponding strip of color. I do look forward to this month being multicolored again. On to the next page. I don't think I could have a bullet journal and not have a brain dump page. I usually like to use this page to help plan for the next month's theme. And I usually write down all my crazy craft ideas. I used the Pac-Man font for this page and incorporated bits of the game as a border. Then I outlined everything. I used the Pac-Man font again for the Polaroid Memories page. This was actually a really easy font to learn to draw. Super simple with lots of repetitive shapes, except the S. That one was a little trickier to master. I gave this one a tiny hint of a border as well, then outlined everything. To be completely honest, I really don't exercise as much as I should, and I decided to give only one page to this. I labeled it all the same as before, giving each exercise 3 columns so it can be repeated 3 times. Then I highlighted each category with a different color. For my weekly spread, I colored in the letters first. I actually broke the tip off of the blue marker on the last page when I was putting the cap back on. That was frustrating. I still needed to use the dark blue, so I had to hold it and draw all weird to make sure that I got all the way to the edges of the letters. Note to self, please be more careful with the caps. I divided each day of the week to kind of resemble the box layout. I separated each day with the pack dots and the day of the week at the top. Then I colored in all the letters in the Pac-Man font, all the ghosts, Pac-Man, and pack dots. Last step, outlining, and lots of it. Which font was your favorite font? The classic pixel game font or the Pac-Man font? So what was your favorite game you played while growing up? I think if I had to pick just one, I would say Super Mario 3. My mom and I would spend hours playing it, so let me know yours in the comments below. For the water tracker, I will fill in the Pac-Man's dots for each cup of water. I also didn't make a monthly weather tracker because I wanted to find ways to incorporate it into every weekly spread this month. This may come back to haunt me, but we'll see how it goes. I really hope you've enjoyed this month's retro Pac-Man theme, and I hope I've inspired some of you to try different themes. If you try any of the themes I have created, please tag me on Instagram at Amazing-Andrea1, that's with underscores. I would love to see your recreations. If you don't want to miss next month's setup, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. As always, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time.